Just us. Just us.
Hot off the heels of blowing out the Trailblazers, the Denver Nuggets came to Chase Center to take on the Golden State Warriors, hoping to maybe repeat a 50-point blowout, maybe a 30-point at least, which, after the way that the Warriors played last game, seemed like it could happen.
But thankfully, the Warriors beat the Nuggets, they beat the number 3 seed in the West, 128-117.
It was a wild game.
It was a nail-biter, I'd say, towards the end. But I'd say the first half was probably the best first half of basketball I've seen in a while from the Warriors.
Yes. It was a game where they started off pretty well. It felt like they were keeping up, not letting a big gap be created by the Nuggets in the score. Remained within striking distance for the first two halves of the game. And there's that feeling that you get when the Warriors start off playing well or okay, and they're like in contention to win. You get the feeling where it's like, oh no,
this might be
this is going to be an L.
Yeah, sometimes the Warriors have a really great first half, and then they come out sluggish in the third. And I also think credit to the Nuggets, they made some adjustments on defense.
Yeah, so
the Nuggets are actually one of the worst 10 teams on defense this season, but they're one of the best. They're in the top 10 offensively.
Yes,
which is interesting.
Yeah,
and so the Warriors took advantage. They made a bunch of threes in the first half.
Yeah, that was Al Horford came out, and this game he started off strong.
Uncle Al.
Old man Al. He started off strong.
And why was he in the starting lineup?
Because at the very and we mean the very last second, Draymond Green was taken out of the lineup and the game due to some lower back pain issues, which was very, very, very surprising to the point where they released the starting lineup and he was in it. And then he just wasn't there again. And he wasn't on the bench either, as far as I can tell.
I didn't see him.
So hopefully he's doing all right. Hopefully it's nothing worse.
Another player who was supposed to be there in his second game with the Warriors was Kristaps Porzingis. He was ruled out with an illness. He didn't leave his hotel room, so it must be maybe bathroom related. I don't know.
Steve Kerr said he received a text this morning saying Kristaps is very ill.
I mean, it could be a stomach bug. It could be the flu. It could be
that.
anything.
It could be related to his POTS. It could be anything. The question regarding that now is, if he is so ill that he couldn't even make it there, potentially there's some contagious element to it, or he just didn't feel good enough to make that journey. The Warriors are leaving for a road trip tomorrow. So the question is, does he go with them? Is he well enough to go with them? Or are they about to go on a 2 or 3 game road trip without Kristaps Porzingis, who was supposed to be the lifter with Steph out for another 4 or 5 games or whatever it is.
I'd say Uncle Al is holding down the fort in the center position.
He really is. He was shooting threes. They were going in, and you can tell, again, it had that positive knock-on effect on everyone else. Moody was shooting as well now, after we talked about him last episode where he felt like he was very unathletic. And not to say he suddenly was sprinting everywhere and leaping around, but he just looked a bit more engaged. He looked a bit more confident in himself. And Al Horford is what kept us in it for a lot of the game. So that first half was pretty much him and Guy and Moses.
And Melton as well.
And DeAnthony Melton, yeah.
Yeah, so basically the starting lineup is kind of the players that historically are on the bench. So the bench have now become the starters.
Yep.
And the second round bench has now become the reserve bench.
Yep.
So it's all kind of cascading because Steph is still out. He is going to be reevaluated in now 9 days.
Yeah.
And this is the 7th game that he's missing.
Yes, a lot of games.
I forget what the record is without Steph, but it's not great.
No.
So we got to get Steph back. But I think this showing kind of proves that the Warriors can scrap together a win against a really good team.
Yeah. So they started off well, and then you could tell that the Nuggets kind of realized that they didn't have the energy and they weren't playing high energy basketball.
And
they
let's
came
talk
out
about why. Let's just
recap.
recap.
They had a back-to-back, basically.
Yeah, and at halftime, the Warriors were up by 9 points, which is not insurmountable for the Nuggets, based on how Jokic was playing. Jokic almost had a triple-double in the first half alone.
Yeah.
And ended the game with a triple-double.
That is to say that they might have had a back-to-back, but it wasn't like they were slow and sluggish and missing all their shots, that kind of stuff. They still played like they were a number 3 team.
Yeah, they're the third seed for a reason. But the Warriors had a season-high 76 points in the first half.
Crazy.
They were up by as many as 14 points. The Nuggets did not lead at any point in the first half.
No.
The Warriors tied for the most three-pointers made this season with 15 in the first half. And they had 25 assists as well. So most points and assists in a first half that the Warriors have had this season.
Yeah.
So I'd say it was like probably the strongest showing I've seen from them.
Yes.
With that said,
Third quarter.
we were covering our eyes for a lot of it. Circus.
Turnovers.
Yeah. Like
Everyone
Shaq in a
was-
fool type.
Yeah, it was
play.
wild. Moses fell over a bunch of times, passes straight to the hands of the other team, just like fumbling the ball a bunch, missing layups.
I mean, not only missing layups, so they were hot from three. They made 15 threes in the first half. They were 0 of 13 from three in the third quarter alone, which is kind of intense. You know, you would think that, okay, they're missing threes. Maybe they decide not to take them.
No.
There's no self-awareness on this team because they've just been given a green light. If you're open from three, you take it.
They say if you have the ball, you're at the 3-point line and you can see the rim, take it. And it shows, but it means that when they go cold, it looks bad.
I'd say the other thing that kind of transpired in the third quarter was lots of fouls.
Lots of refs getting involved.
Yeah, but I don't know if the whistle changed or the Warriors. I think the Nuggets got more aggressive, and so the Warriors countered with aggressive defense. And in that, based off of that, they got called for a lot more fouls.
Yeah. The Nuggets were in the bonus a bunch of times.
They were in the
very
bonus
quickly.
with 7.5 minutes left in
Crazy.
the third quarter. So they got to the line because there were some fouls that happened in the backcourt, right?
Yeah.
Like the Warriors were trying to steal the ball in the backcourt, and that then translated to 2 free buckets for the Nuggets on the other end, which I did not like.
At that point, the third quarter, it was looking like it was over. People, like Podz was throwing up bricks, turnovers, fouls. It looked like a quintessential Warriors about to blow the lead moment.
And they did. I mean, the
Yeah.
Nuggets took the lead in the third quarter.
Correct.
Even though they weren't shooting particularly well in the third. I think it was just a factor of the Warriors making a lot of mistakes.
Yeah, and they were rebounding well and giving themselves enough of an opportunity to make a bit of a comeback.
Well, let's talk about the comeback. The fourth quarter.
Yeah.
The saving grace. A Pajemski legacy game.
Unbelievable.
Crazy.
It wasn't even the whole quarter. It felt like 2 minutes. He just went insane for like 3 minutes.
Berserk.
He went.
It was the final 5 minutes of the game. He scored 12 of his 18 points in the final 5 minutes of the fourth quarter. So, and he went off. He looked like a spitting image of Stephen Curry. I'm not even kidding.
At
Some
certain
of
points,
those
yeah.
shots were wild.
There's that one fadeaway shot from the corner that looked like he was behind the backboard, and he hit it, and that was a quintessential Steph Curry shot. And it's also a shot that he's hit a couple times before, but
In his prime, which he's no longer in.
which is year 1 and year 2.
Yeah.
But yeah, he hit that shot. He hit a 3. He also did a putback, which was incredible. I think Al took a 3 and it hit the rim and came out again. But out of nowhere, he jumped, caught it on his right-hand side, and then swung it over to his left-hand side to put it in. That was like, whoa, he's playing.
And before he went on that run, he was 1 for 9.
Yeah.
So he was just bricking it up
He was on track to have one of his worst games.
ever.
And then just woke up and was like, oh yeah, I can play basketball. I'm in the NBA. And then just started doing insane plays. Everyone, he shot his threes with confidence. They were going in. He was laughing. He was smiling. He wasn't like showboating. He was just like a little grin came on his face. It felt like he had a little breakthrough there.
He was in a flow state. And so typically like players such as Curry, when they're in that flow state, you just get them the ball and they just can't miss. So
Yeah.
he was in that state, and the Warriors just kept feeding him the ball,
Yeah.
and he was getting all of his shots up. I will say Al Horford played a critical part in that fourth quarter as well,
sure.
just in the whole game overall. But I'd say those two really were my players of the game.
Yeah, 100%. But yeah, it was a good game for Podz, which I think he really needed. I've said it before. I'm not a Podz hater. I do understand when he screws up, he screws up badly, and he looked like he was going to screw up this game for a lot of it, and then out of nowhere just turned a corner and won us the game basically. Not even won us the game, just sucked the air out of the momentum or the effort that the Nuggets were putting in. And then at the same time, there was one also, I think the important turning point was DeAnthony Melton hit a three, and this Chase Center went insane. Like
Yeah.
you could hear how loud it was on the TV, and people were posting from Chase Center going like, it went insane in here. And then from that point on, it felt like the Warriors were gonna make a solid effort, and then Pods went crazy. And that was where I think the Nuggets were like, we're not winning this.
And it seemed kind of improbable, just given how well Jokic was playing. He ended the game with 35 points, 20 rebounds, and
Crazy.
12 assists.
And he was
Career night for an all-star MVP caliber player, and he only had 3 points in the fourth quarter.
Yeah. Prior to that, every three he shot looked like it was automatically in.
Yeah.
Like he did his weird overhead 3-point shot straight in. Like gravitational pull just got it in there. And then in the third quarter, they started like doubling him, really getting in his face, defending without fouling. And then obviously the offensive stuff took them out of rhythm and solid.
The defense really picked up from the Warriors in the fourth. So I think kind of like the turning point. So the third quarter, the Nuggets outscored the Warriors 34-19 points. And then it kind of flipped in the fourth where the Warriors had 33 points and the Nuggets could only score 16 in the closing quarter. I think the Nuggets have struggled closing out games in the fourth quarter, which doesn't seem very likely, but they aren't I think as locked in as you would think they would be. I think they expended a lot of energy as well leading up to that moment. And again, they're not a great defensive team, but they had to put in the effort on defense those first three quarters. So I think they were just gassed by the fourth.
they're down their best defensive player.
Yeah, Aaron Gordon has not played for the Nuggets in how many games?
A few.
It's been a lot.
Yeah, he's pretty injured.
And yeah, so without him, their defensive rating has really gone down.
But also, like, it was credit to the Warriors. They were defending really well. They kept both Jokic and Jamal Murray at different points, on their toes, made it hard for them. Solid effort from everyone.
It felt like Jamal Murray had somewhat of a quiet game,
Yeah.
but still ended up with 21 points somehow. I think he had a quiet first half. He picked things up in the third, which is where things started falling apart for the Dubs.
But
thankfully,
thankfully
the
we got
Warriors
a win.
won.
That's a good, important way to start off the road trip. Next, we have the Pelicans. I imagine that they go into that game with confidence, and that makes me more confident, especially knowing like the Pelicans aren't great, which means we don't necessarily need someone like Steph or Kristaps Porzingis. But at the same time, we always somehow screw up these
winnable
easy
games.
winnable games, especially on the road. Well, not especially on the road, but we have a decent road.
And I also think they're about to enter a back-to-back, which it feels like we haven't played a back-to-back in a while.
Yeah.
So Tuesday, Wednesday, it's going to be Tuesday versus the Pelicans, and then Wednesday versus the Grizzlies.
Both winnable.
Both winnable, and I hope we do, but you're right. I think sometimes the energy just doesn't translate.
Yeah, for sure.
And Steph won't be playing. Questionable for Kristaps. Draymond, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Al Horford still doesn't play back-to-backs.
Yeah.
Does Melton play back-to-back?
His minutes have been going up, I think, quicker than Al's have been. He I think he's on a minute restriction more than a back-to-back restriction.
Okay.
But yeah, this is an important stretch as well because depending on how we perform, we could shuffle the standings as it currently is. We're at 8th, which means we're not too far behind the next team above us, but we're also not far off the team below us. Where are we looking? How are we looking stats-wise?
So we're still in the 8th seed. Phoenix is still ahead of us. They're 33-25. We're 30-27. But didn't Dylan Brooks? There's been
broke his hand.
Injury. Yeah, he
so
broke
he's
his hand.
basically out for likely the rest of the season.
Which is crazy because he is their best player right
Yeah.
now. So I think as we surge ahead, they may fall down in the
Yes.
standings without their main guy.
Yeah. It's going to have to be Book taking care of it.
Right.
But yeah, if we win a few games there, we end up in a better position. And if we come back still looking like we're either in playoff contention or in a strong play-in situation, and then Steph comes back and he's fully feeling it and he's healthy, that could be huge. I'm not saying we could win a championship, but at least we can maybe get a first-round playoff win out of it. That would be good.
Yeah.
I would love that.
Same.
Yeah. And also, we got a heartfelt letter from Jimmy Butler, which was really nice.
Yeah, we got an email from Jimmy Butler with a letter and also a reminder from the Warriors to
Pay
the
your
next
season ticket.
Pay the next installment for the season ticket holder fee.
But we posted the letter on the Just Us Instagram page, so if you want to read it, it is worth reading. It's really nice. It is a good reflection of what it seems like Jimmy has experienced while being here. He clearly is loved and has been feeling the love, and he said some uplifting things there. He was very much like, this is not over. I will be back, and I want to see you guys back as well.
Yeah, and in the past week, we have supported Jimmy by going to his
Big
coffee
Face.
shop, Big Face. We bought a $75 beanie.
It's so comfy, though.
It's really nice.
It is
It was
so
worth
comfy.
the investment.
It was worth it, because it's cold as hell right now.
And the drinks are so good.
Yeah, it was nice.
So that's in the
We got the
mission.
drinks for free, though, because I hit that weird little game.
Yeah, there
thing
was a little game at the
where
register.
you flick a basketball.
Yeah, that's on a string into like a mini hoop. I made it on my 3rd try. You get
Yeah.
3 tries. You got it on your 1st try. So
Yeah.
we both got free drinks, which was cool.
Hell yeah. All right. Boobies and Butthole. Boobies definitely win. I feel like we can't use the win. The win's an easy one. Podz having a good game was much needed. And then Al Horford continues to be very impressive, considering his age and the fact that he was on a back-to-back restriction. He has been really holding this team up in many, many ways. And then Butthole, that 3rd quarter was catastrophic. We
Yeah.
can't have another one like that.
I'd say same. Butthole was the entirety of the 3rd quarter. But I also have a second butthole today.
Well, you got 2 buttholes?
The second one was Podz was 1 assist off of getting a triple-double. And I'm so upset he didn't get it. Because this was such a good game for him, and I really wish he had completed just the triple-double because it's just iconic. I'd say boobies for me was Podz having a legacy game, and I'm going to say Melton was a big contributor.
Nice.
I loved his layups and action within the key, especially when the Warriors couldn't make a bucket.
Yeah.
And he's the player that we turn to now that Jimmy's not here.
Yeah, to drive.
To like try and get some points.
Yeah.
All right.
All
Well,
right,
we'll see
we'll
you on
see you.
Tuesday.
Yeah.
Just us on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Just
Just us.
us.